And we're back. This is Mobility with Megs. I am a certified personal trainer and corrective exercise specialist. And today we're going to go over a whole posture correction routine because that is what most of you said you wanted in the poll in my stories. So this is going to be a follow along video. You can save it and do it whenever you'd like. Let's get started. We are going to do a cat-cow to begin. So we're going to go hands and knees. Hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. I want you to inhale. We're going to arch the back, look up. I want you to think about pushing through the hands. And then as we exhale, you're going to round the spine, tuck the chin. Imagine pulling your shoulder blades apart. Again, we're going to arch and look up. Nice and slow, move with your breath. And then round, tuck the chin, pull the shoulder blades apart, push through the hands. Good, one more. Feel free to move here in whatever way feels good. You can wag your imaginary tail. You can do some nice barrel rolls. Just make sure you're still working with your breath. All right, now we're going to go into child's pose. So you're going to go feet together, knees out. Walk the hands forward, rest the forehead on the floor. If it feels good, you can rock the head back and forth. Reach those fingertips forward. Again, if it feels good, you can tent the fingertips. You will feel a nice little stretch in your shoulders and your lats. Again, feel free to get in some little wiggles here if it feels nice. Deep breath. Try to feel your belly inflate like a balloon when you inhale. All right, now we're going to bring it up. Go back into that tabletop position. We're going to do down dog into high plank. I'm going to offer a modification if this is a little bit too hard. So from here, we're going to lift the knees, hover off the floor. You're going to push the hips up and back into down dog. If you can't get the heels all the way to the floor, that's okay, but try to imagine sinking them towards the floor. And then I want you to push your chest towards your thighs, lifting your tailbone up to the floor. Again, we can bend and straighten each leg, move around in this position a little bit. And then from here, we're going to push forward into high plank. Okay, make sure the back is nice and straight here. Don't let the lower back dip towards the floor. Okay, and then we're going to push back, down dog, forward, high plank. We're going to do that 3 more times. Good. And high plank. Nice. Push that chest through. High plank. Good. Now, if that variation is a little bit too hard, what I want you to do is you're going to go from this quadrupled position. You're going to tuck the toes underneath. You're going to lift and hover the knees about 2 inches off the floor and then come back down to rest. Lift and hover. Good. Back down to rest. Nice. All right. I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, so from here, we're going to do an isometric row. So you can do this seated, standing, whatever feels good to you. All we're trying to do here is work on strengthening the muscles in your back that over time from this seated posture, this rounding forward posture, those muscles get really stretched and really weakened over time. So we want to work on strengthening the muscles in the back. I'm sure you guys have seen these like devices that you wear that kind of like you strap it on and it pulls your shoulders back. This is just a way to do that naturally, right? Our muscles and our physiology should be doing that for us, not some sort of external device. So I am not a fan of those, by the way. So what we want to do, I'm going to show you forward and sideways. We're going to take the hands out in front of us. I want you to flip the thumbs up. From here, make sure we're creating some space in between the shoulders and the ears. I want you to pull the hands back, pull the shoulders back, open up the chest and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then we're going to reach forward again. Good. Pull and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Reach forward. You should feel muscles in your upper back engaging. So we reach forward, thumbs up, pull, pull, pull. Good. Make sure when you're doing this, you're not just yanking the shoulders back and yanking the elbows back and letting the shoulder dump forward. Okay, I want the top of your shoulder to remain pointing up to the ceiling the whole time. Okay, so I want you to think more about pulling your shoulders back, less about yanking the elbows back. So we're really getting that nice stretched chest position and giving the shoulder blades the opportunity to pinch together behind you. Okay, so we reach forward. If you want, you can even like do this kind of seated cat-cow. All right, so we reach and pull and squeeze, reach, pull and squeeze. Nice job. Okay, now we're going to take it up. We're going to go standing chest stretch. So find a wall, anything that you can kind of grab a hold of. We're going to get the arm parallel to the floor, and then you're going to twist away. So I want feet, hips, belly button, and then chest and chin rotating as far as you can away from that hand. You should feel a nice little stretch through here. We're going to hold this for a little bit. You can play around with different positions with the hand on the wall. One thing I want you to be aware of, though, again, is creating space in between the shoulder and the ear and making sure that shoulder isn't dumping forward. So still try to keep the top of the shoulder pointed up towards the sky. This should feel good. All right, let's switch sides and twist. Good. Something else we don't realize about getting into this closed chest posture is that it really impacts our breathing. So the more our shoulders and our chest close and the spine rounds, our breathing gets really shallow. And so while you're doing this routine, I want you to pay really close attention to breathing intentionally and trying to breathe all the way into the belly. Take full deep inhales, full deep exhales. That's going to be something that helps pull the chest open as well. Oh, all right. Next thing we're going to do is a wall angel. So we're going to come all the way back up against a wall. I want you to try to get heels, butt, upper back, back of head on the wall. And then we're going to see if we can reach the hands up overhead to get the knuckles on the wall. A couple things that typically happen here for a lot of people is the butt will float forward, or we can't get the knuckles all the way back, or we have to crank the chin up in order to get there. So I'm going to show you a few different modifications. If you can't get knuckles, back of head, upper back, butt, and heels on the wall, a couple different things that you can try. Well, first, if you can, what I want you to start doing is just dragging the knuckles down, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then coming all the way back up. Okay, if you can get head, upper back, butt, and heels, but you can't get the knuckles, that's fine. Just reach the knuckles as far back as you can and make sure that we're squeezing the shoulder blades at the bottom, keeping the core engaged so that there's not this excessive arch through the lower back. I want you to imagine zipping the rib cage closed. There should be a slight natural arch in the lower back, but try to keep the rib cage closed. So if you get all of those contact points, I want you to keep reaching and squeezing, sliding the knuckles on the wall behind you. If you can't get those 4 points, I want you to try one of two things. One, you're going to try walking the feet forward and then leaning into the wall behind you, okay? And you can start from here. If you still can't manage to get the head on the wall, or maybe you're getting the head on the wall, but we're cranking the chin up, you can try sliding the feet forward and then putting a small pillow or something behind you. We just want to make sure that you have something for the back of your head to rest against. Okay, so try those two modifications. Work on getting 10 of these slides. If that still is feeling really hard for you, I want you to try doing the same thing while lying on the floor. And we're going down to the floor anyway, so I'll show you briefly. So another modification, if doing it against the wall is too hard, you can do the same thing. Plant the feet on the floor and then knuckles overhead. And it's, again, totally fine if the knuckles aren't getting to the floor. Just let the arms fall. And wherever, as far as they go, you know, we can slide from here. I still just want you to think about squeezing the shoulder blades and making sure that we're not punching the rib cage open. All right, now that we're down here, we're gonna do some glute bridges, some work with the spine, and a little bit of hip openers. Let me make sure that I'm getting everything. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do glute bridges. A couple different ways that you can do these. You can go arms on the floor next to you. If you want to work on some more chest opening while you're doing this, we can cactus the arms out. So elbows are at 90 degrees. I'm going to go with this variation for today. So from here, we're going to go articulated bridges, which just means we're going to roll through the spine and we're going to go really slow. So I want you to push the lower back into the floor. When this happens, you're going to feel the core engage. You're going to feel the pelvis tilt. So from here, I want you to think about lifting the base of the tailbone up first. So we're going to keep this nice scooped position and we're going to roll and lift, rolling one vertebrae at a time until we get into this nice straight position. We're pushing through the heels are on the floor, hips are lifted, core is still engaged, and now we feel the glutes and the hamstrings firing as well. You're going to hold here for a few minutes, and then we're going to roll down, working at the top of the spine. We roll, 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 nice and slow, and then fully release at the bottom. We tuck and go again. So lower back pushes, we push through the heels, lift up nice and high. You might feel a nice little stretch in the hip flexors here as well. Roll all the way down. We're going to do that a few more times. If you're not feeling this in your glutes and your hamstrings, try to play around with your feet position a little bit. They might be a little bit too far or a little bit too close to your hips. Good. Let's go a couple more. Also, keep in mind, if this routine is a little bit too time consuming, I would recommend just picking a few of these, right? You can always just take one or two based on how much time you have available for you that day. Good. Last one here. Lift, squeeze, squeeze. And down. All right, now we're going to go into a seated figure 4. So we're going to take one leg, cross it over the other. A few different things we can do with our hand here. Some of you might feel a stretch just in this position. If you do, you can just work on using the hands to push and pull that knee. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, we're going to interlace the fingers behind that left thigh, and then you're going to hug that knee towards you. Make sure that we're not resting the ankle joint on the thigh. Move the leg far enough over that you're not pressing into that joint. So you should be right above the ankle joint. And we're going to push, push. Make sure that pull, not push. Well, you can be pushing too. So something I like doing is using this elbow as I'm tugging on that left thigh towards my chest. I like to sometimes use that free elbow to push the knee as I'm pulling. Okay. You'll feel that stretch change a little bit. And then from here, if you want to, we can rock side to side to get into different parts of the hip and the glute. Make sure here that the head is resting on the floor, tailbone is down. If you want, you can put a pillow underneath your head. Again, we just want to make sure that we're not perpetuating this craning forward position. So make sure that we're rested, make sure that the neck is in a neutral position. So we're not here. All right, let's switch them out. Flex this foot, interlace the fingers, tug and pull. If you want to even take it a little bit deeper, you can wrap here and pull. And then we're gonna rock a little bit. Hopefully this feels really nice. All right, we got one more thing after this and then we're done. Okay, so now we're just gonna work on mobilizing the spine a little bit. So from here, we're going to drop onto one side. If this feels uncomfortable, go ahead and put a pillow underneath your head. You have the option to either keep the knees stacked or you can straighten that bottom leg. I'm going to choose to straighten the bottom leg. Now, we're going to close our hands like a book. What I want you to do is we're going to take that top hand, we're going to slide it, open it behind us. If you're able to, your gaze is going to follow your hand. We're going to try to release the shoulder, elbow, and hand towards the floor. And then we're going to close the book. Good. I want you to try to exhale as we open. And then inhale as we close. When you exhale, try to squeeze every last little ounce of breath out of your lungs. You'll notice that you're likely able to go a little bit deeper into this twist. Nice. Let's go last one. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, we're going to go other side. Switch it out. Exhale, open, twist. Oh, I got a nice little crack there. Good. And open, twist. Hopefully you feel nice, charged, and mobilized after this. Please let me know in the comments if there are any of these movements that you would really like some modifications for. I'm actually going to show you one for this exercise because for some people it can be really uncomfortable to get all the way down on the floor. So something that you can do either from a seated position, either on the floor or in a chair, is to take one hand, cross it over onto the knee. You're going to take the other hand behind you. We're going to sit up really tall and then use the hand on the leg to twist and to try to look past that. So right now I'm trying to look past my right shoulder. And then take really nice deep breaths here. You can do same thing on the other side. Spine tall, chest open, shoulders back. Think about reaching the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Good. If there are any other exercises in this posture correction routine that you want some modifications for, let me know, and then drop in the comments what you want to see next time.